Today I'm going to run you through some of my favorite makeover scenes in film.
Ow! Lainey, no offense, but when was the last time you tweezed? What?
Stick around to the end to see my favorite makeover look on film, the one that inspired this look today. Anyone who knows me knows that my favorite kind of movies are makeover movies. Now, they don't strictly have to be makeover movies. They could just be a film with a makeover scene in them.
I'm in a dress. I have gel in my hair. I haven't slept all night. I'm starved and I'm armed. Don't mess with me. Ooh.
I do really enjoy the art of transformation. Transformation can be a communication tool or a signal to the people around you that, hey, I'm different, I'm a new person, I've shed my old skin, and now I'm someone new, or I want to be perceived in a certain way. So I think all of these films do explore identity in different ways. Let's get into it. We're going to jump into a makeup tutorial on this look, as well as running through some of my favorite makeover scenes in movies. And as I mentioned, stick around to the end to see which film inspired the look that I've got on today.
Everyone will wanna look just like me.
Okay, see if you can guess this look as we go through the video, and let me know if you guess correctly in the comments. This isn't strictly a makeover movie, but there is a really iconic makeover scene in this movie. I'm really excited as well today because I've got a few new products that I've been seeing reviews on that I have bought to try for the first time. It's going to be quite a heavy eye look, so I'm going to do my base after I do my eye makeup. I'm going to prep my eyelids just with some Tarte Shape Tape. My skin has been giving me a bit of grief lately because I just started on a new skincare routine, so it's going to take a few weeks for it to adjust, but you can see I've got a few spots and things there, so we'll do some concealing and stuff today as well. So the first makeover movie I want to talk about today is kind of an obvious one, especially if you're from my generation. It's She's All That from 1999. This is a real sort of classic makeover movie. So this movie stars Rachel Lee Cook, Freddie Prinze Jr., and also Paul Walker. Freddie Prinze Jr. makes this bet that he can turn any girl into the prom queen.
Gentlemen, we have a winner. What, Lainey Boggs? Nah, no.
Hey, a bet's a bet, bro, right, Preston?
Hey, man, this is between you guys.
She is, underneath it all, very clearly a conventionally attractive girl. I'm just going in with this Natasha Denona Mini Xenon palette, and I'm just going to take this blackest black shade. I'm just patting it on with this Morphe 2 brush. It's quite flat but a little bit fluffy as well. There's some really fun side characters in this movie as well. So Freddie Prinze Jr.'s younger sister, who gives Rachel Lee Cook the makeover, is played by Anna Paquin. Rachel Lee Cook's little brother is played by Kieran Culkin.
Lainey Boggs, get your cute butt down here. Swing, swing, swing the spinning step. You wear those shoes and I will wear that dress. Oh, kiss me beneath the milky twilight. Lead me out on the moonlit floor. Lift your open hair.
What would I rate this makeover? I think it is one of the iconic makeovers in the kind of teen movie history. It's also made fun of a lot. I think recently it was referenced in the Barbie movie where one of the Kens takes the glasses off one of the Barbies and says, wow, you're beautiful now. But that's basically the premise of this makeover. I think she looks cute both before and after. In terms of it actually being a dramatic makeover, makeover. It's not necessarily that dramatic. So I would give it maybe a 6 out of 10. So the next movie I want to talk about is Batman Returns from 1992. And this is the film that features Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. So this is a really cool makeover. There have been a few Catwomans since Michelle Pfeiffer's 1992 Catwoman, but in my opinion, Michelle Pfeiffer's was the best Catwoman. So next I'm going to take my fluffy brush and dip into this grey shade just as a transition shade, just right around the edges. So I'm going to use this fluffy M433 from Morphe to do that. So spoilers ahead for Batman Returns if you haven't seen it. It's super duper campy and fun. Christopher Walken plays this like wealthy industrialist. Selena Kyle is his secretary. She's very meek, frizzy hair, wears these kind of, you know, brown taupe, grey, light neutral skirt suits.
You know, for a second there, you really frightened me.
He ends up pushing her out a window and she then gets rescued by a bunch of stray cats, and that's how she transforms into Catwoman.
Meow.
This is one of my favorite movie transformations. So I think I would give this movie makeover like a, let's say an 8 out of 10. The next movie I want to talk about is another cult classic. It's 1995's Clueless. In Clueless, famously, Ty is the new girl at school, played by Brittany Murphy. Cher, played by Alicia Silverstone, takes it upon herself to give her a makeover.
Oh, come on, let us. Cher's main thrill in life is a makeover, okay? It gives her a sense of control in a world full of chaos. Please.
Sure, why not?
Cher gives her the sort of preppy LA girl makeover. She still maintains some of her existing style, so that plaid is still worked into her look, which is really cute.
I'm gonna be a supermodel.
Again, this is one of the most iconic movie makeover scenes in teen movie history. So I would give this movie makeover, let's say like a 7 out of 10. This is very much a trust the process look. I'm gonna unbox today the Milk Hydro Grip primer. I find with primers generally like start small, just one pump to start. I'm just gonna put it in the places where I'm more sort of my pores are more prominent, so just along the middle of the face, on my chin and on my forehead, around the T-zone really. I'm gonna go in with foundation, and I'm really excited because I've heard so much about this foundation and I went and bought it yesterday from Sephora. It is the Fenty Beauty Ease Drops Blur and Smooth Tint Stick. So the next movie I want to talk about is from 1992. It's called Death Becomes Her. I'm just using this fluffy Eco Tools brush to buff this in. Death Becomes Her stars Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, Bruce Willis, and Isabella Rossellini. Meryl Streep plays this kind of like fading stage actress, and I think she's school friends with Goldie Hawn's character. She invites Goldie Hawn and her fiance to one of her stage performances, and essentially she steals Bruce Willis.
Matt, I'd like you to meet Dr. Ernest Menville, my fiance.
You were just wonderful.
Ernest
Boy.
Menville, Dr. Ernest Menville, the plastic surgeon?
Yes, you were so
terrific.
Ernest is quite a fan.
Well,
I've read all about
dance
you.
number, boy, oh boy,
I can't believe I'm meeting you. He never told me he had such a Madeline Ashton thing.
Well, we're both huge fans.
I'm sure he doesn't have a thing.
Goldie Hawn's character Helen ends up in a mental ward because she's so upset about having her fiance stolen. This foundation is okay. I feel like it's, instead of blurring my pores, maybe it's like accentuating them a bit, but sometimes when foundations settle in, they look a bit better. So we'll see how we go. The movie is pretty, I will say, fat phobic.
You have the right to remain silent. If you give up the right to remain silent, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to... You nuts!
Eventually, she kind of shows up again, I think like 7 years later or 10 years later, and invites Bruce Willis and Madeline to her book launch where she has had a total transformation.
Oh, looks as though she's lost a few pounds. We're leaving.
And then they begin this sort of like competitive one-upmanship where they're trying to become more beautiful than the other.
Just want you to know one thing, Hal. You brought this on yourself.
Once you get past that sort of fat phobic segment of the movie, it's a really fun, camp and crazy movie, and Isabella Rossellini looks freaking amazing in this film. So if you haven't seen it, it's one of those makeover movies that you have to check out. So I would give this makeover, like, just for the one-upmanship and the looks throughout the film, I have to give it like a 9 out of 10. So next I'm just going to go in and do some concealing. I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape under my eyes. This shade is 22B, so it's got more of a pinky beigey undertone, which is what I prefer to use under the eyes. And then for the rest of my face, where I'm going to do a bit of spot concealing, I'm going to use something with a bit more of a yellow undertone. I find with Shape Tape, just like a little bit goes a long way, and I just apply it really right in those hollows under the eyes. So for a bit of pinpoint concealing, I'm going to use the Kosas Revealer Concealer. This is 3.5W, so this one has a bit more of a yellow undertone. I'm just going to use it on those blemishes on the forehead very lightly. So I'm just going to dot it on exactly where I need it, and then I'll tap it in with my finger. So the next movie I want to talk about is kind of like the OG makeover movie. It's called My Fair Lady, starring Audrey Hepburn. It's from 1964, based on the play from 1913 called Pygmalion. Audrey Hepburn plays this like flower florist, like flower shop lady, and then she gets like, I don't know, I haven't seen the movie in so long, but basically like she gets yanked off the street and made over.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
Didn't I say that?
No, Eliza, you didn't say that. You didn't even say that.
Anyway, so she gets made over, and then she goes to like the Royal Ascot races in this like black and white number, very sophisticated. This film is actually also what Pretty Woman is based on. So we'll talk about Pretty Woman as well. So the makeover is pretty great. Again, she goes from this sort of like scrappy, like flower shop girl to this gorgeous, elegant woman. Hubert de Givenchy designed many of the dresses that you see in the film. He was quite close friends with Audrey Hepburn, so it's really lovely to see his craftsmanship on display in the film. So I've got to give this like OG makeover a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna do some contouring with this Smashbox contour palette. I'm just gonna use this taupey brown shadow shade. So the next film on the Audrey Hepburn tip that I wanna talk about, it was first made in 1954 and then again remade in 1995. I've seen both versions. I actually really love the 1995 remake. It's called Sabrina, not the Teenage Witch, a different Sabrina. This is like one of my favorite movies. I love this movie so much. So essentially, Sabrina lives on the estate of this very wealthy family. Her father is like the chauffeur to this family. Sabrina is this teenager who's always looking at David from afar. She's got the biggest crush on him, like obsessed with him. And then as she sort of grows up, she moves to Paris to study. Can't remember what it is in the 54 film, but I know in the 95 version, I think she studies fashion and she goes to Paris and becomes kind of like this sophisticated gal. She cuts her hair really short and then she comes back a few years later.
Hi. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
And I think she's at the train station and bumps into David, who doesn't recognize her, but kind of like falls in love at first sight with her when he sees her. And yeah, her makeover's awesome. She wears like an iconic red lipstick in the 95 version. She's such a cute character. Like, even though she looks like so sophisticated and glamorous when she returns from Paris, she's still the same like beautiful sweetheart. I won't spoil the movie for you, but is that a spoiler? That's probably a spoiler, but please watch it. Watch the 95 version. It's really so fun. That movie Makeover really stuck with me. I think I'm gonna give that one a 9 out of 10 because it's not someone else making her over, it's her making herself over and kind of like growing up and, you know, going from like a caterpillar to a butterfly. It's almost like she becomes her true self in that movie. So I really, really love it. All right, so next, since we've talked a bit about Audrey Hepburn and My Fair Lady, I think what we should talk about next is Pretty Woman from 1990. And while I do that, I'm gonna go back into the eyes and just tidy those up a little bit. Use this Natasha Denona. It's like almost like a white, off-white shade here on the end, and just clean up those edges a bit. So yeah, Pretty Woman. I guess it's not so much a makeover in that it's more of a gradual sort of evolution throughout the movie, but it did give us one of the most iconic movie lines of all time.
Big mistake. Big, huge.
There is sort of like a throwback to that Royal Ascot scene within the movie. Okay, now I'm gonna go in and do some eyeliner. So I'm gonna use this Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade. So what would I give the Pretty Woman makeover? As I said, it's more of like a gradual makeover, so it's not like this stark sort of before and after. I would give it like a 7 out of 10. Next movie makeover I'm going to talk about is a boy makeover. The movie came out in 1999 and it's called The Matrix. This look is kind of giving The Matrix, but it's not. That's not what this makeup look is from. So Neo, he's like this office worker in the real world, and then he gets his eyes open to the Matrix. Again, spoiler alert, when he is in the real world, the real world, everyone in the Matrix is kind of in these more muted tones, and then when they get into the Matrix, they're all in these like cool black leather looks. Trinity especially, again, I'm giving like maybe a bit of Trinity with my hair and makeup today. Her look is so iconic, and she's actually the only one that wears that patent shiny leather, if you've noticed. So the costume designers on the film actually said that the reason they designed the costume like that for her was because they wanted her to be or like feel like an oil slick. She was sort of everywhere, and she would always surprise you and turn up like an oil slick. So I thought that was a really cool, clever touch that they had for Trinity's outfit. Also, those long black jackets, the costume designers sort of wanted to make the looks of the characters when they were in the Matrix feel like superheroes, but they didn't want it to be too on the nose, and so that's why those long jackets were a big part of the costume. I could, and I'm sure one day I will, do a whole video on the Matrix because it was so groundbreaking as a film, but also like as an influence on fashion and beauty and culture as well. So it's a really important film in so many ways. Okay, we're almost at the end. The next movie I want to talk about is The Hunger Games from 2012. And while I do that, I'm going to do my eyebrows. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Perfect Brow Pencil in Taupe. This look has quite a fluffy kind of brow. I'm just gonna fluff them up and sort of fill in any gaps with this pencil, and then I will set them in place as well. So The Hunger Games, I actually, not sure if I've mentioned this on my channel before, but I worked in film marketing for over a decade, and one of the things I am most proud of was launching the Hunger Games franchise to Australia back in 2012 when it came out. When the movie was in production and we knew it was on the slate, I read all the books and I was so into it. I could not wait to see the film, and I really love the films. I think they're really great. But one of the key things in the book that I think they didn't quite nail in the film was the makeover scenes. Katniss, she's like just this, you know, hunter from District 12. She goes from this like tomboy District 12 girl, then she becomes this sort of smoky-eyed, mysterious competitor in the opening ceremony of the Hunger Games.
Not real fire. These suits are built so you won't feel a thing.
It's pretty real to me.
Well, that's the idea. You ready? Don't be afraid.
I'm not afraid.
I guess my criticism of this movie is that it feels like extremely 2012. So even though it was set in this like alternate universe of Panem, I felt like a lot of the fashions and things we saw in the capital were very of the time. So they were using like Alexander McQueen runway designs that were like trending right at that time. It didn't feel necessarily like futuristic to me anyway. That sort of opulent style was what we were seeing a lot of on the runways anyway during 2012. It was the era of excess. So for that reason, I'm gonna give the makeover a 6 out of 10. I'm sorry. Okay, to set my brows, I'm gonna use this Jung Semul brow pomade. This is a Korean brand by a Korean makeup artist. You can't go wrong really buying into any makeup artist brands. They know what they're doing. So yeah, I'm just gonna fluff them up. So before I reveal my final and favorite makeover scene in a movie, we're gonna do some mascara. So I'm gonna use the Heroin Make Volume and Curl Mascara. The movie is from 1995. It stars Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson, and it's called The Long Kiss Goodnight. It was written and directed by Shane Black, who is kind of like an action movie icon in Hollywood, but also I think he's had a few controversies as well. He did Predator. He's kind of like the king of buddy movies. So this is sort of like a bizarre buddy movie. So to complete the look, I'm going to just do my lips and a bit of blush. So I'm going to use this Judy Doll lip liner. It's a really kind of smoky brown color. It's very cool toned. I'm also going to fill my lips a bit with this. We start out and Gina Davis is like this, again, like meek, frumpy housewife. And she's got no recollection of who she was before she was found, like, I don't know, I think it was like 8 years ago or something. And she hires this like cheap private eye, Samuel L. Jackson, to help uncover things about her past.
One more tomato. Oh my, look at this woman, she's amazing.
Just do that.
Slowly but surely, all these little fragments of her past keep coming back to her. And then when she finally remembers who she was, she transforms into, it's kind of like the Bourne Identity. She kind of transforms back into this who she used to be. And there's this really incredible makeover scene, and it's a total transformation. So she does her eye makeup, she bleaches her hair, slicks it back. She wears this amazing lipstick. If anyone has any idea what this lipstick is, it looks like an old Revlon shade. Let me know. I found this Rimmel shade, which I think is a pretty good match for what she uses in the movie. It's like a pearlescent, like pinky nude. This is called Candy, and this is the color. So I'll just swipe that straight on. This smells like bubble gum. It's gross. It's that real kind of 90s pearl. So to complete the look, I am going to put on some blush, keep it very low key and light. I'm going to use, I bought this yesterday. How pretty is the packaging? It's the Pat McGrath Divine Blush. And I really liked the color. I was always searching for this really sort of subtle blush color. And you can see it's this very like pale, almost like rosy kind of nude. I'm gonna use this Morphe fluffy brush and just dip into that. That's really nice. It's a bit warmer than I thought it was gonna be, but it's very pretty. So yeah, not only does her look change, her entire personality changes too. It's a very fun transformation. And I have to give this one a 10 out of 10. Little bit on the nose, just to tie everything together. I think this movie was like a box office flop, but yeah, I like it. It's really fun. I find Shane Black's movies kind of funny, but maybe that's just me. My favorite movies of his are The Long Kiss Goodnight and The Nice Guys. I give this makeover a 10 out of 10. It's my favorite makeover on film. I'm sure I missed a bunch of makeover movies, so let me know what your favorite is. Drop a comment for me below. So that's it. That's the finished look. This is my Long Kiss Goodnight makeover look. I love doing these more pop culture themed videos, so there'll be more of that to come. And if you liked this makeup look, please hit like on this video and please subscribe to my channel. Huge thanks to everyone that subscribed over the past few weeks. I see you, I appreciate you. I'm really excited to be doing this every week. It's just been so fun and awesome. So thank you so much.